Folsom Labs makes Helioscope, which is a sales, design, and engineering software platform that developers of really all sizes, from residential through utility scale, use to figure out what they can fit in a given land or building or parcel, what that bill of materials is going to look like, what the energy yield is going to be, and what the payback period is going to be, and really help them engage with the customer and sell that solar array. So really kind of the lead to close portion of the solar development process. So our customers are the developers, a lot of the companies that are here at the show. And they really range from big companies to small. So big companies like SunPower use us, all the way down to lots and lots of medium-sized and really small businesses. For example, when we hit 1,000 seats, 1,000 paid users, that was across 700 different companies. So, as much as the big companies get all the attention, and everyone loves to have blue chip clients, most of our business is the long tail, the small businesses, and we're seeing those folks as the backbone of the industry, and that's both U.S. and internationally as well. We see the same concentration mix. There are big companies, but for every big company, there are hundreds of small companies out there as well. The first thing we do is look for companies that are growing quickly. And so it includes a combination of sales and marketing to find those companies. And then we're still based in the US. We don't actually have an international team yet. But because the product is easy to use and a global product, we're able to support those customers effectively from California with just really good support, phone, email, and chat. In the software world, it actually works fairly well. It starts with having a global product. So everything we do with Helioscope, we keep an eye towards the international markets. In the engineering part, it's fairly straightforward to have international components, international sources of weather, international sources of imagery. And then as we continue to build out the product, we necessarily and are committed to keeping an international eye. Right now, we're actually working on permit automation. So permits, by definition, are a local product. U.S. regulations, often state-level regulations. We're actually incorporating feedback from our Australian customers because what we're going to be doing for the U.S. can be applied to international markets, and so we proactively reach out to get input from other markets. So as we build these things, making sure that they're applicable to multiple markets. So the first thing we see is a proliferation of software tools to address really every step of the value chain. So we're going to see the big companies getting bigger. And we're going to see a preponderance of other smaller companies that can plug into the big companies. We're seeing companies starting to build products into Helioscope, and they can sort of get around having a sales team, having an accounting team. It can essentially be one or two people building an app, and then that plugs into Helioscope. They can charge for it through Helioscope, and it drives a lower minimum scale for a new company. So we're just seeing the beginning of that. We think that's going to be a big trend in the future. And what we're seeing that means for organizations is massive changes to how they work. And that's really, when it comes to soft cost reduction, I think a lot of people like to look at a line item and just think, how can I make that line item smaller? But that's not often how it works. It doesn't mean you just take a task and shrink the task. It's not simply a matter of taking a 30-minute down to 20, down to 10. Often it means fundamentally changing who does what. Taking a task that typically might have been from customer to a salesperson to an engineer and back to the salesperson. If you can cut the engineer out of it, often with good software tools, then you can cut out an entire step. Just eliminate the engineering step, but more importantly, have that customer experience be a better customer experience. Soft cost is as much about getting more out of your team as it is about shrinking the time it takes to do a task. And we're really focused on helping teams improve their productivity 10% every year. That's kind of the bogey that we shoot for. And if we can keep doing that, that means costs are going lower. But again, not from firing people or getting sort of taking tasks away. It's from having the same teams that we've got in the industry today twice as productive a decade from now.